on Facebook. Turtle, say that again.
The turtle Earth here, and welcome, Julia.
Good evening.
Oh, hi there. I was hearing you talk about your laser hair removal earlier.
I like your hat. It's perfect for your whole researcher explorer. It's
the guy who went to the Rashad structure 3 times. Thank you very much. It's nice to meet you.
Before.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, you met before.
Your name disappeared. I was just going to say it now. I don't want to get it wrong. Julia, was it?
Yeah. We've done shows together.
What? Okay.
What? You forgot about me?
Well, I think you changed your background. Did you really have the neon sign behind you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Julia, I apologize. I'm a narcissist. And by the way, this is the Tassil Najer place. I'll show you where it is on Google Earth real quick. We'll back out from that structure. What, by the way, does it come up? You see, yeah, there it is. It says Eye of the Desert, not Eye of the Sahara. That's different. Did you catch an earlier part, Julia? I'm showing around the Sahara. Look at the lips. Look at this. I call him the Englishman.
I see it.
And then when you zoom into his lips, it's not hard to find this. I mean, this is all over the Sahara, but not even Graham Hancock talks about stuff like this. I mean, what are we looking at? It's terraforming, ancient megalithic terraforming. Over here, if you think, oh, that's natural, well, you got this other example over here, and it goes up into the mountains. This whole area, look at these so-called rivers. Look how sharp those angles are. This whole area has been terraformed. It's been terraformed.
How big are those? Like, how big are those sections and carvings? Like,
these down here, which ones are we talking about?
Like
right here,
degree ones you just showed.
Okay. Right here, this shows 5,000 feet. 5,000 feet is about a mile, so that's 5,000. That's like 3 miles across right there, the long part. And then you go. Let's try to turn it. This whole thing, by the way, do rivers form straight or do rivers form curved? So here we see 7,000, 8,000, and if we count that up, 8, 16, 24, 32. Divide that by 5, and that's how many miles it is. 32, maybe another 40. So that's 10 miles right there, and then 12 miles. And then you get natural rivers. Look, you can even see water in there right now.
Right, like the difference between that and so.
Well,
like, how do they claim?
That's a different scan right there. That's a different scan.
But like, right there, those 90-degree angles. It's wild.
Where was I going? Right when I was going somewhere. I was going to show it over here. Yeah, I was going to show you this Tassil Najer National Park. And so let's get north. Can we get north? So there's so many things like that in Niger is the upside down Homer Simpson head with the small face. There's his face. The upside down Homer Simpson head made of volcanic so-called circular dikes. And then over here in Mali, we've got these dikes, circular, and then above them. So I showed you earlier the crescents. I mean, they're basically under construction. Don't tell me that just occurs naturally. This is megalithic stuff here. The horn and then the heart. I call that the heart right now because of something that Michael Tellinger showed, one of these mud fossils. But it was quite small. But then up above this,
like giant bumper, like from like pinball sort of thing. So it's like for if it's an inland sea and water, like that, those would be deflecting it like giant dikes. I guess.
Well, okay. So we have long ridges, long, straight. That's called an ancient dump truck. Did that? I'm telling you, these are I don't even want to say man because they're big, but ancient mining tailings. Somebody was dumping in straight lines this stuff and creating mountains out of it. I might add. I mean, you look at this and you're like, what the heck's going on over there? I don't know, but I see these things. I call them snail trails when they look like that because they are basically, in my opinion, they're dumping material that they're trying to either just get rid of. I swear to God, I even have a new theory about this. perhaps that stuff even gave fuel to the vehicle that was moving it along. I want to say something else before I shut up for a while. It's the photos. If you get photos of this stuff, you can find photos, and they're very sparse. There's one here. We'll click on it, and you see these. That's not a mountain. That's a pile of rocks, right? And it's just, how does it even?
Stig, have you looked into any soil samples in that area?
Okay, so
any?
I can't admit I haven't been there. This is the middle of Mali. I've been to the Rashad structure, and I can't admit
we're gonna have to do a full tour. Like, we're gonna have to go through like all of Egypt, then go into Sudan, then Mali, then to Sahara there, and like do a big exploration of it all.
I'm trying to get back here to answer her question. I'm trying to get back here.
Yeah, soil samples. Have you looked at any soil samples in that area?
I know a guy who. We're not supposed to admit we have soil samples. I don't like to talk about it live on the air. But no, of course I don't have enough soil samples. What I want to do is I want to go here, and I want to get a sample right there from this rim. I think that's a crater from an impact. That's the impact that destroyed Atlantis right there. And if you want more evidence on that, we go to a shot of right here, and this is the wrong one. It's the same image, but it's showing the wrong part. So I'll go to the top and I'll get the right image. And even Randall Carlson says people have been mining here for 1.2 million years. Okay, there it is right there.
Mining what?
Chert outcrops. The implication is if they're hunter-gatherers, they're trying to make spearheads. But I walk through there over on the right. But before we get away from this,
like this is an industrial scale, not hunter-gatherer scale.
Those are alluvial fans right there. That's an alluvial fan. Otherwise, this would be perfectly circular. And let's not talk about the Carolina Bays. That's almost a perfect circle, and then it's been breached by alluvial fans. We also have this circle over here. But I think that is the impact crater that destroyed Atlantis. I've been there. I wanted to show you something else. Let me get away from. I was going to show you something else. The Piri Reis map shows the circular structure. That's the ancient Tamanrasset River. So I think that might be a little dog by the guy's feet.
Mm-hmm.
But what the heck is this over here on the right? That's the Piri Reis map. And is that a troll in there, or is that a castle in there? Is that a city? It could be the second circle that I showed. Did you I talked too much. I need to take a break from talking and let you guys catch up with all this. Let me just say one thing. I was ignorant. I went to Cambodia in 2004. I didn't suck in my gut for that shot. I went to Cambodia in 1997 and got these images, but I was still so ignorant. I didn't know what to think. But the one thing that's Yonaguni. That's me. I lived in Taiwan 25 years. But I wanted to show this last, but Nikki's gone. But this is an Angkor Wat. And if you know about woodworking and lathing, you can put that on a lathe and you can lathe it, right? But that's not wood. That's stone. You can see the broken part right here. That's Angkor Wat. That's ancient, but it's not megalithic. It is megalithic, just like these Indian. Sorry, I should have said elephant trunks. That's more than polygonal carving stone right there. I mean, is it as good as what Peru has to show? I don't know, but I think that we have to admit when I saw these things, I said, "There's no way that could be lathed in." And that's my first wake up call. I was ignorant. I really was. I had no idea about any of this. I'd never even heard of the Eye of Africa. I didn't hear about the Eye of Africa until 2009. But honestly, I went to the Arches recently, and it's like these explanations. I mean, let's go really quick but I'll stop talking. I'm going to take you to Utah, and we're going to take a look at the Canyonlands right by the Colorado River, and tell me that wasn't maybe placer mining, ancient placer mining. in Utah, right by the Canyonlands, right by Moab. Go to Moab. It's right there.
Oh, Moab, we have to go.
Oh, yeah. By the way, but you can't see it from the ground. And you've got these things here. Look at these lines. Look at those straight lines. And you say, oh, it's wind. Oh, it's water. No, it's an ancient machine that carved that shit up and put it in the Colorado River right there. The Colorado River is right there. And it used the Colorado River for placer mining. You've got several projects. And there's another project. And how is it so different right next to it? And that, I think there was chemicals used to create that, in my opinion. And I'm going to show you stuff. I'm going to go down to the convergence where the Green River goes, but I'm going to try to, oh yeah, this part. Look at these lines. Tell me that's natural, those straight lines. But down here, they're not so straight. Interrupt me, talk while I'm going down to the convergence. This, I believe, is a major strip operation down here. That's Moab, right? So you follow the river down where it converges with the Green River. Look at those colors. That's real? That because they're getting minerals out of this stuff. They're getting
there's crazy, like multicolored, like the most beautiful, but like not claimed geology in those areas, right? Of like it.
You showed needles in Alberta. You showed needles in Alberta, and now you're going to see the needles in this area in the Canyonlands. They look exactly the same. And I'm convinced this is from some ancient terraforming, maybe been weathered. I mean, obviously those petroglyphs were done later, okay?
Right, and lots of them are like 10,000 or tens of thousands years old, they find. It's like, and that was done afterwards.
Yeah, and you get those cactuses everywhere. Yeah, and I tried to get there, and I was there. I wanted to walk between these, but it's been weathered too much. You can't see the laser, the marks that cut those anymore because they've been weathered. So, yeah, and they're going to show us the sagebrush. That's a beautiful shot. The arches, there's arches everywhere. I did go to arches, and I got a shot near the arches. But, yeah, let's go back to the Google Earth. Right where it converges, you see how this stripped out this material. I think they were mining it. They say it's natural. I'm just not there anymore. And it's so vast, you know. Oh, there's my heart. That's my heart mound right there. So what I think here is they literally, I could be wrong. This one is kind of a weak, but let's get rid of that. But I believe that they poured that material on top of it. And it looks like a heart. So I've been using that in my presentation. But I mean, what I really think is there were several projects going on. One was the first laser carving of this all. Julia, were you here at the beginning?
No.
When I showed my Twitter, I showed this shot. This is from Algeria. And this is Tassil Najer. I didn't even show you how to get there yet because I got distracted. I was trying to show you how to get here. It's 200 kilometers of this mining. I mean, it looks to me like a big old quarry field. And then you see other stuff with these weird polygonal on the before side. I think what they had like a laser beam and they cut those lines. But projects be projects.
It looks like a mining. It looks like it was several mining operations. Like there was one using much more advanced. Like it seems like they tried a few different ways, but that definitely looks like a mining operation.
Well, follow the Colorado River. This is Utah Canyonlands, and go down to. You're going to see several different projects. If you go down, you see different. Well, even in this area alone, I think. Okay, going back up near Moab, the city of Moab. Just zoom into that, and you can see all those different projects going on. This one down here, scraping stuff, and it goes across to the other side. That's wind did that. Wind. You've got all these arches. I believe that the arches were the play of the giants that were creating this stuff. And the biggest arch of all. And then over here, I showed you a second ago. I want to try to show it one more time if I can find it. It's just so straight. I think it's right here. That's it. It's just, to me, it's like what they're doing is they're going at an angle to create a relief cut to get the material out. And if it's like a quarry, an ore, they're dumping it into the water to create a placer effect. Hopefully they ground it up first. I think that's what they're doing. But who knows? Maybe I'm crazy. And then look around this other area when you see these lines. They change. Like, how do they cut over? Like, first they go this way. And when you turn it to my ancient equator, this is one of my favorite shots. It's always not on the top of the plateau. It's always below the top, in the Grand Canyon as well. I really want to take you there. There's so much to take you to and show you, but we were already looking at this. Let me show you the Tessil Niger so you can know how to get there yourself and look at it for yourself. In the Sahara, we've got that Libyan thing. I'll show it one more time just because Julia may not have seen it. This thing called Planetary Valley is in Libya. And it's like, what the heck happened here? I think this looks like some type of a welding spatter situation. But you can even see some of the concretions, the so-called concretions there. If I can find the thing. That's okay. There it is right there. So go there yourself and take a look at these pictures of these concretions and tell me that's just, that just happens sometimes. That's just natural.
It's so similar to the ones at Red Rock Coulee.
Right, because there was probably a very similar ancient project going on. I mean, look at these lines here. These are straight lines. I know that, and if you look at a mine dump that a modern day dump truck makes, it's about 25 foot wide. These are like, if you look at it shows up 100 foot right there. That's 100 foot wide. So that's like 4 dump trucks.
But how are they on top of the sand? Like, isn't sand supposed to blow and create sand dunes and bury things? And it's like everywhere you go, those secretions or whatever the heck, those spheres, the perfect rock sphere.
There's legends of a dragon that lived in Libya. Like,
well, and then mud fossil. Let me turn it north, and then I'll show you. But I want to come right back over here. I'll show you where that is again real quick. But Mud Fossil University says that's the head of the dragon, and he crashed in, and that's his blood. And then that's the fish. So there's a dragon and a fish. And then there's the eye. And it's like, okay, I prefer not to go down all those because I try to stay with what I can see.
The stone balls, those are more like practical of dinosaur/dragon eggs of like actual skeletons of dinosaurs, quote unquote, they found. So it's within realistic plausibility for some of them. No,
let's go. Okay, so there's Planetary Valley. That's Libya. And by the way, there is one straight line going across these mountains too. These like I don't understand what created. Then it's the YouTube thing. I'm sorry, the Google Earth thing. We can't see anything now, right? So is that a shadow from a cloud? I don't know. But now we're north. So now backing out, that's Libya's west border near Gat, and it's right there. And then we have this big thing here, Tassili Niger National Park near Djanet. I don't know why it's Djanet. I just say Janet. My favorite place to take people is here because it shows a rectangle, and they're saying this is a national park because it's wind and water erosion. But wait a minute,
park.
What creating these rectangles? So that's wind erosion, or is that mining? And then you see this stuff, and over here there's so much to see, and there's a serpentine of this stuff that's so amazing. And they're saying, that it looks like a city, right? But
it literally looks like the layout of a city. So potentially, could it be that it's actually not mining, but like petrified or former stone, like buildings or cityscape or something that's gone through a process, maybe of like vitrification or petrification or something? Just spitball and like no idea, but just that was so city grid like. It's wild.
You know what I like to think about is, where did all this stuff go? Where did all these blocks of what is it? It's sandstone. That's what they say. And look at they have my 45-degree relief cut, or it's not really a cut, but they're doing like maybe they literally removed all this stuff. Where did it all go? I don't know.
Hans brought up a good point about in Libya there's an underground aquifer. I wonder how far away that is from the spot you brought up in Libya.
The Libya
with some of these mining things, you're going to need a water source. You
need water. Well, let's assume that there was a green Sahara at that time too. But yeah, I agree, and there are a lot of those. I know they're called. Well, I think he's talking about a qanat. A qanat. There's a bunch of them in Morocco. I won't be able to find them just now, but Libya has a lot of crazy stuff. There's Libya's border right there. And this is the Garamantes tribe was in here. What was going on in here? That's another volcanic.
Yeah, it looks torched. Uh-huh.
Well, it's not. Where's the volcano? If that's, I don't. Is it a mountain? That's Garamantes tribe stuff. And yeah, earlier, I don't know if you were here in time. I was showing these two structures. What the hell created those? Are they mountains? Or are they electronic Birkeland currents from another planet? And that's what I think created the Rishat structure, because of the cymatic patterns inside the Rishat structure. So now we're getting really big, and this is 800 feet. So that circle, that outer rim, is 800 feet lower. What happened to all that content? It doesn't just, if it's a volcano, a dome, it doesn't just disappear or get sucked back into the earth. And in my impact, my crater here, they say that's a volcano. Well, I showed you here. Where's the mountains? That's what I was going to show you. Where's the mountains that disappeared that are right there? My favorite topographical is this Cal Topo. Oh, by the way, it always goes here to Pi Town. These two parallel ridges, those aren't natural, but I don't want to get off the topic. I'm going to go over to Africa. I'm going to show you that structure and ask you again, where did the mountains go? So in the middle, it's a very perfect circle right in the middle of the Eye of Africa. But then you start to see that does look like a circular impact crater. What happened to the mountains that would have been there if this had processed naturally?
I just believe the Earth, it goes so much deeper than we've ever been taught or explained, and that some things can kind of work as chimneys of like the extraction points. Like there's so much going on beneath the surface.
There's a weird little plug over here that Randall Carlson called it. Let me find Randall Carlson's slide on that. And he's talking about that. It's like a drain, maybe. I mean, I just look at it. I got to find the slide. Oh, by the way,
isn't the sulfur content really hard? So maybe like certain gases have to get filtered out in certain areas, you know?
Julia, do you know about the Kalahari canals and the Namibian ridges? These strange lines go 200 miles long.
Looks like irrigation.
Yeah, right? I agree. And those ones that I showed you in Chad, I'm looking for that. I think I passed it. Let me go back up. There's just so many things out there. By the way, the ancient Tamanrasset River, let me see if I almost had it. There's a canal that I found. No, that's a big canal. That's big. That's called the Rishat Canal. It points. It's 50 miles long. It goes right towards the Rishat. But and then you see trees in it too. But and there's a portion. These Russians went there. There's video of this. They did drone footage there. I discovered this on my own. They call it the Plato Canal, but it goes through these mountains and points right at the Rishat. And there's these.
Wait, who calls it the Plato Canal?
Some Russians I haven't told you about yet. And also,
hear about it.
They went there. They went there. Got to give them credit. I think that there's one more red line right here. It should be right here. Those are dams. The red one, the green ones are canals.
Sorry to interrupt, but like there definitely looks like some potential of geoglyphs built into it. And Phi C saying there's a pharaoh at the structure that's a geoglyph somewhere around there too, supposedly.
Okay, Randall Carlson, he said that outcrops. Okay, I have to do it right. there were chert outcrops in this structure being quarried. They were being quarried by somebody hundreds and thousands of years ago. Well, I went back to this video that I don't even know if you can find it anymore, and I did catch it. He clarifies. He says 1.2 million years ago, somebody was quarrying from this structure. Was it hunter-gatherers or well, we can talk about that. But there's this.
It's impossible from an industrial organization.
Stop saying that.
Scale. Like it's just.
Well, there, but sorry to interrupt, Julia. There was a whole treasure of hand axe heads found there. Let me find that image. But before I navigate away, Kimberlite plug right there. That's in this new LiDAR shot. It's very interesting. I've never been there. Gabrionic ring dike. I don't know. That's okay. Whatever. I mean, you've got 3 of them. They're missing the big one. In the Mars system and displacement of ring dike by fault. That's my crater. So even Randall Carlson, by the way, if you know, Randall Carlson said there were chert outcrops. I went there. There was this faceted stone. There's all sorts of quarrying, but I was going to show you. You just brought it up. What was that you said just now? No, I can't remember what. I interrupted you, and I was going to show you. Yeah, I can show you that too. Anyways,
hunter-gatherers, they found weapons.
Yeah,
I
can give an example of that. Literally today, there's indigenous tribes all over the world that don't have human contact, especially in the Amazon and stuff, and that they can also in the Amazon are massive, still to be discovered pyramid cities that those tribes could be living in and literally starting their fire, chipping their tools, making their tools in these abandoned pyramid cities from thousands of years ago. And that 1,000 years from now, another archaeologist goes in there and can find it and be like, was it these hunter-gatherers that made it? Or was it this civilization that was Americana time? And it's no, it's from a even previous civilization from all of this. That simultaneously there's hunter-gatherers and advanced civilizations existing throughout time, and what seems to be cycles of collapse and reset sort of thing.
Graham Langdon found a stash of these. I found it right here and right here. So I'll show you these. He found this on his trip up near the same mining thing, and they're just laying there. There's 10,000 of them. They're called antaxids. Yes, it does show evidence of a Paleolithic activity. And when I say Paleolithic, I mean borderline hunter-gatherers. I said it again, sorry. But literally,
that's wild. That makes
10,000 of them out there. Well,
they just didn't build it. They existed there afterwards, sort of thing.
Right. Well, and by the way, could you use those stones to do something like this? This is the serpentine thing I found and I finally found the thing. Look at that long thing. They didn't have that type of capability. And look at that serpentine. One goes down and up and down and up and down. And it's what is it? You look closer. Great. It's these carved blocks. It's and then you say, oh, that was a flood event right there. I don't think so. I think that was carved away and removed by somebody. And so, yeah, where did all these blocks go and who used them? What projects were used in this? And let me see that last one.
So you're saying that's a quarry, that last one?
I believe in my heart. I'll show you again why. But then you have something like this. It's right next to it. It's what happened here? Someone was scraping away the rock in a different manner, in a different project, a different time period, maybe. The quarries that you just looked at, I'll show you where that came from. Tahsil Najar National Park. And the one place that I showed you already was right here, where you zoom in and start to see quadrants and lines. And they were blocking this off. And you do this rectangle, and I'll do this rectangle. And let's see who makes more ore. I mean, I don't know who did this. It could have been humans, but I doubt it. Aliens, giants, somebody else, Anunnaki, maybe. You know, we do have a story about them mining gold. So that's that place. And yeah, it goes on and on and on. It's crazy. And it's like starts up here and it goes all the way down here to the bottom. And you just keep seeing it over and over. Wherever you go, ancient projects, ancient cuts. Anywhere you go, you just choose it yourself and go there. What happened here? Oh, that was wind did that. Water did that. I don't think so. And Julia, were you here for Australia?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to go back there, but I also I don't want to be I can stop talking while I go there. We were just there.
I think we're going to have to shut her down pretty soon as we're...
Yeah, we were talking about 10:30 and now it's 11:30.
Right, already an extra hour in. But yeah, let you finish off. And any thoughts, Julia, on this?
We were started this whole thing because of these weird circles. I call them kivas. And look at this rectangle, Julia. What the heck brought that?
Wow.
What created that? You know, is that
Wow.
And I was showing you circular dikes. That's a rectangular dike. And then you've got all these straight lines. Like
Look how it's like there's a chunk missing right there in between, you know? Like,
well, you know, they were I think somebody did this. I mean, this is just too. And then we get to the processing centers. Let's turn it north again because I'm lost. And go down to the processing centers that we were talking about. Where are those circles at? I got lost. Let me get those. Oh, there they are. So here's one here. It's like you got these little kivas or processing, whatever those circles are, more pits, right? We were showing these ones in Bosnia right here, and they're calling those sinkholes. And then
what is that?
Then that's where we are here. Yeah, what the heck? And then look at this one over here. Over here, there's more. It's like there's like some kind of that's where they throw it in here and we'll process it in here. Well, we need more than one. And yeah, I believe this is all over. You know, you go back to the Rishat structure and you see that same machining on top of those platforms. I mean, look at these lines. I mean, an artist couldn't do better, in my opinion. And my favorite place, I call it downtown. Well, actually, I don't know about favorite, but I think that's downtown right there. And when you zoom in, you start to see these
intersection,
well, it's got the most streets and intersections. And then you've got, look at the machining on top of this rock. You've got they leave this little part here, but they machine around it. And then they go even deeper over here. I think they're dragging material into the water. There's water right there. You see the water. And then you can see, that's close, actually.
Right,
and that's like phase 3. And up here is phase 2. And up
God,
here
I want to see soil samples so bad in all these areas.
Right? It's just hard to fully comprehend the scale of it and just how not natural it is, right? It's artificial.
Oh, what is it rich in? The land right there. What resources is it rich in?
Come on.
It's uranium.
It's got everything. Let's just talk about sea salt has every nutrient your body needs, right? It's got everything. Sea salt, seawater. Yeah, maybe Himalayan salt. It has more, but whatever. I hear that you still need to get an iodine supplement. However, the same thing goes for these bedrock. They carved in this bedrock. This is crazy. This is psychotic. You think they were just going for one thing? This is a shotgun approach right here to me. That's a shotgun approach. Yet you still see
massive grid.
Well, it's desperate. It looks like it was once orderly, and then it looks
chaos.
just chaos.
It is. You got that right. And then you see in the middle
desperate. What would something be so desperate for?
Well,
to get that done messily.
For gold. The Anunnaki,
it's like somebody else came in charge or something, and they have a whole nother way of getting down.
Pardon me. I was
Absolutely.
looking for that one intersection. We found one intersection. It was just such a perfect, like this one. And by the way, what's going on here? More of those little holes? No, that you find this perfect, almost 90-degree. This is
that. Like water and wind does not do that, and that's channeled, carved out of the bedrock.
It's intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, if you since Julia, since I feel so bad, I guess it was over a year ago. But remember what I showed in South Africa?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so every continent has stuff like this. We're just not. It's all protected. Look at that. That's the Wardecken Indigenous Protected Area. That's probably it.
Like I said, the Badlands National Parks and monuments, right? That's what they label.
Yeah, when you get there, you can't see any of it. When you see that, I think that was carved out. But
you right do that river. In like the rich water areas right there. Huh.
I kind of lost. I don't even know if I'm even. Where's our? I lost our stream. I lost everything. I'm gonna let you take back over because I'm lost. Where's our thing?
Well, I think we should probably end her off right now, as we're right at 12:30 or 11:30 there, and to the 2-hour mark, and can do her again. Just got to be up early to work, and that's all right.
Yeah. Well, let me do one more call. Shout out, please. Go to my GoFundMe. It's I'm trying to get back to the Rashat. I already talked about it enough, but yeah, like I've already been there 3 times. I'm looking at these images. There's the one I want to get to, and yeah, I think I may have already seen images, but the point I'm trying to make is that even if don't try to do like a $50, $100. I'm looking for more cups of coffee amounts. Go to the GoFundMe link. Here's an image from the canal I walked down next to that high point in the Adrar Plateau. By the way,
all right, we're not going to shut it off. Keep on going. I'm just going to smoke a doobie and be back in a couple minutes.
What? No, we're done. What? The supporters are saying
just be good. We got, and I still want to show some stuff. So
all right. Let me get. I just closed that because I thought you were shutting me down. But yeah, I'll go back to the Rashat. I mean, I see this stuff everywhere, and that's Australia. But the place I want to go to is such a, in my opinion, obvious. Let's back out a little bit, get there faster, right? The place I want to go. I was gonna say I had a point. I kind of lost it. Yeah, I'm a little overwhelmed. If you look at this map here, and it's perfectly north. Let's reset it perfectly north. You see a little dot there, and you can zoom right in to that dot right there. Mm-hmm. And it's this is still on the highest plateau up here. But when you go off the plateau, you find the giant. I call it the Giant's Quarry right there. And then that serpentine thing I showed you, that was in Tassil Nager, but there's also a serpentine here as well. It's actually way at the other end. Let's see if we can find it. But before we go find that, look at the older parallel lines you start to see here. I used to think this was natural. I said, oh, this is natural fractaling of the ground. But then when I saw this line here, I realized, no. That's some kind of earlier cut they did. They were cutting it. It's hard to see in Google Earth because they show, well, this is actually, see that thing right there. They show this horrible scan. It gets in the way. But if you look at it from this aspect, this is 6 miles. Mm. What kind of a person with a hand axe head could go 6 miles in one direction?
Hunter-gatherers.
They were hunter-gathering straight for 6 miles. And every one of those are all, let's measure one just because I don't know if it's a mile, but these little segments, they're not all perfect together. Not even a 20th of a mile. Let's go to feet. Let's change it to feet. Because honestly, if they were hunter-gatherers, they would have been measuring with their feet, right? So that's 247 feet. And it's just, to me, yeah, they're not all perfect. None of them are. These ancient quarry cuts. And yeah, the top of the plateau isn't usually where they start. And yeah, it looks natural right there. It's like, yeah, it's jointing. But no, I don't think so.
I don't know, it kind of has like a disrespectful vibe too. I wonder.
And then you go over here. You can definitely see, and by the way, the ones that Randall Carlson were talking about are down in the center of the Rashat structure. We can take a quick look. So that's the 6 mile lines are, and the quarries here, but it goes on and on. There's all sorts of things over here. The serpentine is in here somewhere. And I showed you a different serpentine from the Algerian Tessil Nager. Mm. But if you go back to north and go to the middle of the Rashat, we can see those chert outcrops that Randall Carlson talked about. The funny thing is that my first trip, I went to this structure here. I called it the church or the temple. I used to think these were big round stones. They're not. This is modern day stuff from the 1800s. And over here, this is also another structure that I was kind of heartbroken when I finally made it. And
why? Why were you heartbroken?
Well, because I saw that it wasn't anything megalithic. It was stone circles. You can go to my YouTube channel and see the castle has the same thing. And by the way, the ones that I didn't visit are out here. There's more out here. They're just rings of modern day rocks from the 1800s. The French did it. You can say Foreign Legion because this is Mauritania, not France. So it is Foreign Legion, but I think it was some kind of training. But then you see these things, especially over here. Now, I went back there, but when I walked there, I couldn't really see it from the ground. Those are perpendicular lines. Those aren't animal tracks. And when you walk between these rocks, there's these big towers, and you're walking between them, and you can't really see it from the ground. So I kind of got lost. I have to admit, I didn't do the best job. I didn't take a drone. I started here, and I walked up in here, and then I looked across there. And I'm like, I think I want to go over here. And I think I ended up like literally right over here. There's these ones, these are like waterfalls. I think I was over here, and it drops down like a waterfall. So these are supposedly, I believe, and I have met Randall Carlson, but when I met him, I didn't ask him this question.
Did you look at his beautiful hands? I always say Randall Carlson should have been a hand model. He has the most like feminine, like delicate looking hands.
Are we talking
Once
about
you see it, you can't unsee it.
I mean, I can imagine Graham Hancock having delicate hands, but Randall Carlson's a builder.
No, look at his hands, dude. Look at his hands.
All right, we'll do it. Look at those straight lines. I mean, were they chert outcrops with mining where they did
handle David Stig's work though and see that it complements, not takes away, right?
Well, okay, so I think Bernie's referring to when I met him at the Sedona. It's coming on to 4 Easters ago, but we're still at 3 Easters ago. I met Graham Hancock and Randall, he chewed me out. He's like, he's team Azores, and I'm sorry, that's one thing that I'm gonna have to look at. That almost looks like the Tessil Nager, and we're looking at the Rashat structure. I believe all this was mining, but I also believe you can see some ancient canals cutting through, and right here especially, there's these ancient cuts. You know, that's so straight, and I do think those were canals. And I try to be not so outlandish, but some of these lines here, and I do believe there was mining going on also. Like there was water here. Anyways, I talked so much. So yeah, Bastille number 2.
Covered so much though.
Bastille number 2. This one, that's modern day. Do I think those were ancient columns? I used to think those were ancient columns. This was the doorway to enter the structure. But now
they look like geoglyphs and stuff. It's like, okay, are they just claiming it's modern?
This was the headquarters. This was the headquarters of all the military stuff. It's melted. I don't know why that's there.
That's a giant geoglyph.
Why is that there? Why is this here? That looks like my canal. This is the ancient headquarters for the French military. And if you look at it, I'm trying to find the picture. It's probably right. That's not it. Okay, it's not here. It's like melted. Like if we could find other pictures from this area, it's like this melted building. It's gross, actually. I don't like it. I know Adobe. Melted Adobe, I still think it's beautiful. But melted whatever this thing was, this disgusting. I don't like it. And that was like a French construction. I lost it. What did I I was looking for some photos, but we don't have any photos. Yeah, the Rishat. That's the center right there. You can see the center of the Rishat. So he's like in the second ring out, going over and about to cross the last. And that's that valley right there. That's the impact crater, I believe. I think I've been on that road. There's no shells out here. You don't see shells here. Shells have been found down here. Shells have been found up here. And those hand axe heads have been found up here. It's called La Bied. It's a museum. And it's right here. It says El Bied, but you pronounce it in Arabic La Bied. And the buildings are over here. Where are those? Like right here, I think. That's the museum. And there were shells found out there, and those hand axe heads. I think that somebody's trying to cover up, and they dumped those there to make it seem like the ones that the big stuff I showed you, the 6 mile long, which is right there. The 6 mile long is right there, and all these carvings, you see them everywhere. I think that somebody was quarrying this stuff. They weren't using, maybe later projects they were using those things, but I think there were machines, and there was like big machines scraping it in. It kind of gets hard to see out here. Over here. Anyways, you can, these right here, they're just too weird. They're just too straight. Somebody made those paths. Now, the circles, those could be tumuli, burial mounds. Like this one here on that plateau, I believe that's a burial mound. Somebody buried their grandmother. And when I say bury, they pile rocks on it. Where are you located, Julia?
Laguna Beach.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, my gosh. Well, you're down there in Orange County, but the fires along the Malibu, oh, my gosh. You must have known somebody that lost their house.
No.
Okay, so you don't know rich people. Gotcha.
Nope. No, I don't know any rich people. Not at all.
By the way, all those by the way, there's my giant
homeless now. Just kidding. That's horrible.
The rich homeless. Well, I am a conspiracy nutcase, and I see that, and I kind of wonder how that conflagration. And check out Randall Carlson's talk about the Chicago fire. Nobody realizes that simultaneously there was all these other fires on other sides of the Great Lake. It's like, how did it get over there? Did it blow over there? It blew across that big lake.
There's an actual newspaper clipping from the Chicago newspaper of the time, where it was like UFO reported attacking and starting the fire. It's wild. I've seen it a couple times, but yeah, it's very strange now that you say that there's other fires on the opposite side.
All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off.
We're all gonna hop off. We're all out of here.
Yeah,
we're all out of here. Thank you so much. I'm just continuing the show, but if you want to navigate away from my thing and do your thing, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well,
it's
thank
been an
you.
honor. Yeah, we were like,
you,
let's get out. Thanks for joining, Julia. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
I had to escape that previous live chat that you guys were in earlier, and I saw you then. And Laguna Beach, wow, that's so close. I'm in Palm Springs area.
Oh, I'm wearing a Palm Springs sweatshirt right now. A Palm Springs sweatshirt. I love it out there.
Yeah, me too. But I do want to get away from the desert, I think.
Well, first we're gonna have to go into the canyon and then, go back to the ocean or something. But we gotta check out the walls, and we gotta check out the Grand Canyon this summer, or I guess fall, because it's too hot in the summer. All right. Well, love you.
Oh my gosh, almost midnight. Yeah, you're midnight too. You're 11:42, Bernie. We're all 11:40 p.m.
No, I'm 12:42 right now.
You're 12:40 in Alberta.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. You're tomorrow.
Well, praying that the fires get put out and you don't get smoked out, Julia, and for everyone.
You have fires near you, Julia? You have fires near you down in
No.
No, but hopefully not, because oh God, I pray to God that Helle is just a meme and the whole area doesn't fall, because it's just bad. But Like, hopefully they arrested everyone that was lighting fires, and idiots don't light more fires, because there's videos of the people that lit the fires. But that's the topic for another day. We'll just pray that it all ends, and thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to put my...
You crazy mother... Yeah.
It's just BurnEye! Hey, BurnEye just like last week.